Welcome back to another episode. This is Layla, and today we are discussing the importance of moving in silence and why this is so important, especially for women that are spiritual, that are healers, mothers, leaders. This is probably the most common mistake that I see with women, where there's this need to be extremely transparent and honest with men, or when they connect, on a date with someone new, or just in general, even with friends as well. And a lot of women have to learn the hard way that some people are actually listening to you and actually taking notes on how to hurt you emotionally at some point. It might not be within a few weeks, might not be within a few months. Maybe it's going to take a few years, but it's still a weapon that you give to someone in their hands to use against you. And so, of course, moving in silence can mean a lot of different things. So I'm going to explain the different context of where this is important, but just in general, to move in silence is very crucial, especially now, because there are so many women that are coming into positions of power, or they're walking into something called divine living. So they have a lot of abundance, luxury, and sometimes it's new for them, right? It's just like this new reality or timeline. And so they're not used to it necessarily. They're not used to having to protect their assets or protect their wealth, especially if you're not from a family that's wealthy. Like, you probably don't even know that you have to protect your personal information and your blessings a lot of times. And so, for example, moving in silence, I see a lot of, that's going to be just one aspect of it. A lot of women work in the sacred industry. I call it like that, but it's usually sex industry. I just don't like that term. I like sacred. So that's what I mean when I say a sacred worker or a sacred industry. So when you work at night, or, as a stripper, whatever you do within this industry, and there's like millions of women in that industry, by the way, it's not just some like random women here and there, like there's a lot of them. And so when you're in that industry, a lot of times, and I saw, because I used to be in it, and I saw women, having boyfriends, for example, so obviously at some point they told them, not all of them, but a lot of them tell their boyfriends that this is what they're doing. And so automatically in the subconscious mind of man, when you tell them that you are in that industry, they consider you as a whore. That's how they see you. Even if they're not saying it, even if they're not talking about it, this is how they're seeing you now. They don't see you as a mother or a human or a woman. All right? They might not be like abusive, like crazy, right? They could just be normal at the beginning. But at some point, they're going to use that industry against you. So it's best to not say anything. So if you're in that industry, for example, right now, the best thing to do is to move in silence, not tell anyone what you're doing. Wearing the sigil of Lilith is super important, by the way. I'm going to make an episode specifically for that. But you don't tell anyone, and you use the money to start a business. Especially online, it can be passive. Like, it doesn't mean you need to have like employees and anything. Like, it's so easy now to make money online. Just pick and choose the one that you feel called to. And that's it, and use that money as well to hang out in these, sorry, my cat again. I swear to God, they're always silent, but when I talk. Oh, man. Okay, I just had to move something out of the way. See, they make me forget forget what I was talking about. Okay, wearing this sigil. Okay, yeah, you have to use the money to hang out in these high-end places, right? Because people don't know, like when you go to a country club or whatever, like an upscale restaurant, where you want to go, you know, you have to dress classy, of course, and elegant, and you can be sexy, but as long as you're classy and elegant, people have no idea what you're doing at night, and it's not their business anyway because they're not paying your bills. But at least it gives you the opportunity to hang out in those places. And of course, if someone comes up to you or you start to have a conversation with someone, you want to have a fake job that you can just pull out, and it has to be like these, you know, these like lazy jobs on TikTok, these like lazy girl job or something, where it's like you work as an admin, like, or you work from home, but it has to be like something like, I don't want to say something negative, but you know what I'm saying, like it has to be a job that's like people know that you probably make like 30 grand a year or something, so it's a small salary. And it has to be boring, so they're not going to ask questions. Of course, if you say, you know, oh, I work at night at this club and blah, 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 like that's it. Of course, the guy is going to still talk to you and he's going to try to get your number because he's probably trying to be physically intimate with you, and that's it. He's going to pretend that he wants more. He's going to listen to you and blah, blah, blah. But that's it. Like in his mind, you're not wifey material. You are someone he's just going to have sex with, and that's it. He's going to bounce after a few months, and you're going to be left confused. And this happens all the time to women. And and it's sad because unfortunately a lot of women have to learn the hard way, or they can listen to, you know, women online on YouTube. But yeah, that's it. It's as simple as that. You have to move in silence. And of course, if you click with someone and you give them this fake job, of course, at some point, you're going to have to be like, oh my God, they not fired me, but like I was laid off because of some budget thing. And that's it. See, you have a storyline. And then, of course, if you're aligned with a provider that's very generous, that's very masculine, he's going to automatically provide for you. Like it's not even going to be a question. All right. So that's just one example of moving in silence. But of course, there's like a lot of different ones. Another way, especially, for example, if you're starting a business, usually what happens, it's very common. It doesn't happen to anyone, but it's very common that, you know, you get all excited and then you share the news with your friends or your family, or maybe you start posting on your social media and they can see it. You're gonna realize at that moment that there are people around you that you think are your friends, or you think they have your best interests at heart, but they absolutely do not want you to, they don't want to see you win. And it's a hard, you know, way to learn about it, but of course at the end of the day it's good because you know who they are, right? And so it's best, like, once again, to move in silence, or if you can start promoting your business on a business, like start like a new page, like a business page, that's even better, because at least you're not going to be preoccupied by your high school, you know, past friends, like former friends that are watching you or judging you. You're not going to be concerned about all your family watching everything. So you're just going to feel more free, and it's just going to be easier to build. Yeah, and once it's launched or it's permanent, who freaking cares who sees it, right? But at least the beginning, that's usually the hardest part, where, you know, people get discouraged, or when their friends and family are not supporting them, they start to question if they're doing the right thing. So it's best to just, once again, move in silence. I'm trying to think. I mean, there are so many different examples, but you get the point. Let's say you meet this amazing provider, and you guys are getting engaged and blah blah blah. And I know a lot of people just show off on social media, and which is fine, of course, like there's nothing wrong with that. But it depends, like if it's the beginning, for example, of the relationship, or you guys kind of got engaged quickly, you don't want to have like energy outside that is messing with your couple. Of course, you might want to do like a binding spell just to make sure that there's nothing energetically that's going to delay or stop your wedding from happening, like stuff like that. And of course, it really depends on our beliefs. It really depends on the environment that we're in. But if you know that you're surrounded by a lot of jealous women, of course, you have to make sure that you're moving in silence, and you're making sure that no one knows what's your next move. And that's it. When they hear about you, like it's too late, like you've already done the thing, or, so yeah, that's the main message today, to move in silence. But of course, there's like a lot of different examples, but I feel like these are the ones that I see the most, like the most common mistakes. And at least you're going to be able to really protect your heart and protect your light with your dark feminine energy, because that's what it is. Dark feminine energy is all about boundaries. So when you're moving in silence, or you're protecting parts of you, or stuff like that, you're not blocking anything. You're actually making sure that the light can really blossom and grow in a safe space, like in a safe container. That's what it is. All right, so let me know if you have any comments about what I talked about, and I'll see you tomorrow for our next episode.